Welcome back to my channel. Previously I had shown in two different videos the unboxing and the setup of the Fluval Chi 2020 edition, and here it is, and looking very well and functional, with one exception. Within about, I would say about 5 months of owning this thing, the light went. The filter mechanism was still going, the impeller motor, everything was working well, and the evaporation loss definitely was a lot better than the previous iteration, and thus this new Fluval Chi had corrected a lot of the problems that was associated with the original. But I was very surprised at the fact that the light literally just went out on me one day, uh, maybe 5 months into ownership. So of course I did the next logical thing, which is not to send back the filter and get it, since it was still under warranty, replaced. And I believe it's a 2-year warranty, so I've got plenty of time, and I've got the receipt from Petco. And I will call them. I just haven't had time yet, and I probably will give a follow-up to see how well their customer service does. But nevertheless, I did the most logical thing. I bought a second Fluval Chi. Because quite frankly, to buy a replacement filter is as much as the tank itself, and I was thinking about adding another beta tank anyways. So I converted the one with the broken filter mechanism into one using a sponge filter. And actually, this actually gave me an opportunity because in the previous video that I had made, someone had questioned and asked how did I convert the setup, and this is exactly what the setup looks like. You see, just to give a little background in case you hadn't seen my other video, I had owned a first generation Fluval Chi which really had significant design flaws for evaporation, so I got frustrated, got rid of the filter, and converted it. And someone had made a commentary, again in my previous video, well, how did you set up the conversion? Well, actually, here it is. Basically, what I did was I went ahead and used a sponge filter, which you can see in the back there, and actually later on I'll have a more live action shot, so to speak, of the conversion. And really, of course, there is going to be more evaporative loss due to the larger surface area that's open now that the filter mechanism isn't in the way. But nevertheless, I think this is a much more stable system because actually with a third-party light and with a sponge filter, it's a lot easier for me to be able to change the water and not to worry about the evaporative loss running too low, causing the impeller motor, which is high up, to run dry and break. So I decided to examine the mechanism, and what you'll see here, I've actually taken apart the back of the filter, and right here this post that I'm pointing at is correlates to where the light switch is. And I believe there is some kind of magnetic system in which it recognizes when the switch is in the on position, causing the light to go on. Here is actually the impeller, where actually the instruction is to pull this apart to clean it every once in a while. So this is well within sort of what is supposed to be serviced by the user. And I think, quite frankly, somehow that magnetic system of activating the light just broke, because I was actually able to, just by manipulating the thing, to get the light to come on, but now the light just stays on all the time if I were to plug it in. So I probably will still send it back to the manufacturer. And here is the Fluval running, the Fluval Chi I should say, running with the sponge filter in the back and my new beta. And everything actually is doing very well. It's been running for about a month now. As you can see, I added some plants. And again, having the filter mechanism being so low, and I truly love sponge filters. I run a large majority of my aquariums with sponge filters. It doesn't care about evaporation. Whereas you can see this one where the filter is on the top, and here's my other beta. I'm not sure why he's maybe I spooked him a little bit by pointing the camera. Is right, in the other tank. Still doing very well, and still running on the mechanism that it came with. And of course, I hope this second Fluval Chi filter mechanism will be a little bit more reliable than the last one that I purchased, at least with the light mechanism. And hopefully I won't have to switch this one out as well, which would be quite disappointing because really the first iteration of this tank that I owned lasted quite a long time. It was actually more the evaporative loss that had me stop using the filter, not that because of the fact that it broke. Well, thanks again for watching the video, and here is how I converted the Fluval Chi, my first Fluval Chi, and also now I guess my second one, into a sponge filter aquarium tank. I like the design, but a little disappointed with how long the filter mechanism, or actually the light in the filter mechanism, lasted. Still trying to see if I could get that switch to work correctly. If not, I will send it back to Fluval for replacement, as I am obviously well within the warranty period. Thanks again. Have a great night.